We've seen brands where if a buyer buys more than one category, they'll give a discount because that just gives the brand more opportunity for a consumer to come in and say, wow, they're not just a t-shirt company. They also have jackets and pants and hats. Here are some tips to definitely avoid when you're looking at wholesale pricing. So one is undervaluing. You want to make sure that you're not setting your price so low that the end consumer or the customer or the shopper is going to undervalue your product. So you want to make sure to look at that and don't undervalue your product. You also want to avoid not looking at your costs. So if you do not take your costs into consideration, and these costs can be a lot. There's the cost of production, labor, warehousing, shipping, marketing, customer acquisition costs. So again, with a new buyer, what it might cost. You want to make sure that you aren't ignoring these costs as you're looking at your wholesale pricing. There's also a rigid pricing structure. So you want to be able to work with your different retailers in different regions, and it's okay to have different pricing for them. As long as the MSRP or the retail price is the same, you can get creative with different retail locations on their pricing. Sometimes you might have a volume discount. Sometimes you might have a category discount. So we've seen brands where if a buyer buys more than one category, they'll give a discount because that just gives the brand more opportunity for a consumer to come in and say, wow, they're not just a t-shirt company. They also have jackets and pants and hats. So don't be too rigid in your pricing and work with different buyers at their different stages as well. If you're new into that retail location, you might have to do something different with pricing. If you're very established, again, the other flip side of the coin is you might have to do something with pricing. Although with the more established retail locations, doing something like terms is not as risky, but you want to consider all of this. Don't overlook that. It is okay to be flexible when you're working with your different buyers. Again, maybe it's first time versus long-term buyers. Maybe it's how much they're buying, like a volume discount, but also a category discount, or just, hey, we really want to be in this shop. It is, the #1 shop in wherever you are, Southern California. You may have to not be so rigid in your pricing to be able to make that jump. The other thing is, don't be too complicated. So at the same time, well, don't be too rigid, also don't be too complicated. It really confuses buyers. They don't know what they're getting from one season to the next. Be very specific on your discounts. If they're set discounts, work with the buyers, but again, don't get too complicated. It just makes it really confusing the next time they go to place an order, their next pre-booked season, if the pricing is so completely different from what it was the last time.